It was August 2021 when colleagues of the late 𝗀𝗍𝗵𝗶𝘀 gathered outside the Alexandra Magistrates Court for a glimpse of the man accused of killing her. Moloko's family was grief-struck seeing the accused. 13 days earlier, the Leoka prison employee was found in her office dead. It wasn't the first time an inmate had raped and killed a female warden in South Africa's prisons. Reports of such attacks are chilling for 3 female wardens who told us they only wanted to make a difference in a male-dominated world.
Wearing the uniform for the very first time in the department was a dream come true.
When I come from college, when people see me around the township, and people respected me so much.
Most people are happy to find any means to make a living, but these women only wanted to be in one profession, that of prison warden. But when they finally put on the uniform, what at first seemed like a dream come true turned out to be a horrific nightmare and has left them too scared to even show up to work.
Female guards we spoke to believe 𝗀𝗍𝗵𝗶𝘀 died because the Department of Correctional Services fails to fix systematic problems. But spokesperson 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗆 says it's far more complex.
Correctional facilities, when we hear of security breach cases or where there has been an attack or an assault, it is really rare where you find that a female official has been attacked.
And those cases are still there. What do you think is the problem?
Our investigation pointed out clearly that there was no compliance to our standard operating procedures because our policy is clear. Females must be in the company of male officials.
Internal prison policy states that female wardens at facilities where male inmates are incarcerated must at all times be accompanied by a male counterpart. But is this a realistic expectation, considering the combined problems of overcrowding and understaffing?
This warden we call Thando from Goedemoed prison in the Free State felt comforted by the buddy system.
Umsebenzi wabo is not only to guard the offenders. So umsebenzi wabo bona vele uziba xa sikhona nabo kufuneka besijongile.
But the buddy system failed her when she needed it the most. In 2019, an inmate cornered Thando and another female guard. Things got volatile. The prisoner locked out a male officer from the section in which the 2 women were working in their respective offices.
I heard a scream so loud that I couldn't continue with my books. Andithi ndiyajonga, hayi man, this is a female official called 𝗀𝗍𝗵𝗶𝗀, and this is the offender that left most. When I'm trying to intervene, what is happening? Mnyeke. Andimjonga. This person amehlo are still open. She's not saying anything.
Bewildered, she ran back to the office, but the door was broken and could not lock.
I hide myself under the desk. Andithi, his hand is covered with blood. Nalapha kuye mos kukho igazi apha kuye kwi-uniform yetrongo. Athi ndicela ulala nawe just once. Did you andizokwazi ukwenza loo nto mna? Worse, I'm even pregnant. And then athi ndikhulule. And then he did, he raped me.
Her colleague succumbed to injuries from a hammer and a pair of scissors.
Disheartened that authorities are not sympathetic to their plight, aggrieved wardens roped in a law firm to take their concerns to court. Correctional Services officials say victims should be claiming for compensation for injuries sustained at work, while the attorneys argue there probably wouldn't be any victims had the department provided a safe work environment to begin with.
In Johannesburg, this warden we call 𝗀𝗍𝗵𝗶𝘀 sees rising attacks on women officers with great concern.
Most of the service ba rapist, ba bolaile, ba bua ka batho ba bangata. 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 bayenze into more community.
How has this impacted on your mental health?
Sometimes I feel it right. I once been admitted for depression. It was 3 years ago.
Thando says it's no better at 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 prison.
They will be staring into, they will be saying, they will give you that eye that I want to sleep with you right now.
Thando says female guards generally don't feel safe at work but won't speak out for fear of the repercussions. 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 insists the department has created a safe space for women to report concerns.
There are channels for our staff members.
But they are saying that those
whatever issues.
Enough. They have those issues, but they're not.
But even if, let's say, they feel uncomfortable to raise those issues with their heads of centers, there are other channels that we've created.
The wardens we spoke to say their training did not fully equip them for the task of watching over inmates convicted of heinous crimes, some of whom have nothing to lose as they will be in prison for the rest of their lives.
The inmate accused of ending Eunice Mologo's life had been serving an 18-year sentence for murder. The man behind the 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 incident had 2 life terms for previous crimes, including murder and rape. He received 2 additional life terms for the prison attack. This Johannesburg prison official said her anxiety is heightened by having to share protective equipment with her other colleagues. We call her 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗶. And how do you protect yourself?
I protect myself by all means, maybe to not shouting at them, being friendly just to calm them. Usually like mothers to them. When they see us, they call us mothers. But at the end of the day, you are a mother today, tomorrow they can attack you. So you need to be careful.
Shockingly, 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗶 relies on her wits to survive a facility packed with criminals. But 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀 says if security measures at prisons are upheld, they are enough to curb attacks against women. Despite evident gaps, his faith in the buddy system is unshaken.
Sometimes they have to be stationed in positions alone without any kind of supervision.
That is something that can never be allowed. And why am I saying that? If all heads of centers, even our own officials, know of these standard operating procedures. Hence, then it's unheard of that female officials could be deployed on their own in a male
I'm telling you now, that is the reality of some of the women that we spoke to.
But then how truthful is that? They cannot take their positions whenever they feel vulnerable. And measures have to be taken to ensure that at no point an officials feels in that particular way.
So you're telling us that they are lying?
Even for male officials, they cannot find themselves isolated in a particular section of the facility. Hence the issue of the buddy system.
So and we have cases like the ones that happened in 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀. The victims that were involved were not with a male warden. It may happen, and that's my point, that the rule is there. There might be a willingness to implement the rule, but in reality, this is not what is happening.
We only know of 2 cases where our standard operating procedures were not followed, and the results were fatal. Unfortunately so.
The department is now emphasizing self-defense training for women and has recruited more wardens to ease the workload. He stresses that an attack on any employee is unfortunate and painful.
I think now more than the one who's deceased, because I cannot take that picture away. Even in scream, colleague, sometimes I would jump and the screamer. Just nje abantwana bezidlalela i-traumatic laa nto ikwenza ube phakuphaku ube phakuphaku.